and let it kill you.
So, I want to talk about a movie I watched when I was 16, Harold and Maude, which is about the relationship between a teenager who's obsessed with death and an older lady who's in her 70s but still really youthful and radiating life. And at the time I watched this movie, I remember feeling really depressed and a deep sense of sadness that lingered for a few weeks. And one of the reasons why is because the movie felt really dry to me, and also because I I kind of related to the themes, but in the sense that it attacked my uh, like dignity in some sense. Because I at the time I really wasn't. Uh, I didn't put a lot of thought on like life, death, identity, and this kind of shook me up, right? And left me in a state of depression for a few weeks. But then, after a few weeks, we were mandated to read a philosophy book, which was essentially my first exposure to philosophy. At the time, I didn't know anything about that. I barely knew about Plato and Socrates. It was mostly like through a historical context, right? But this philosophy book like woke me to a deep urge to read as much as I could about existentialism, determinism, free will, absurdism, like all these modern philosophical concepts. Um, I I even purchased a glossary, a philosophy glossary, with which details like different concepts that I never was exposed to, and I was skimming through this glossary for like months, I was like rereading different concepts, and I felt really, although I still felt miserable, I felt that it could entertain me for lifetimes, right? And I felt that there was meaning in life. If I could try to reason through life, that's all I needed to find meaning, right? And it's funny. I'm bringing it up because I find it funny how sometimes in life there are events that, although they seem disconnected, they they hide like an order that guides you, even though you don't realize it at the time. Um, Me watching the movie and me reading a philosophy book, that really had a huge impact on me. Um, and that's related to a concept that Carl Jung, the analytical psychologist, developed, like synchronicity, which is essentially referring to when your psyche is connected to the external world through coincidental events, right? And essentially, it it's when your internal states mirrors the external world um, in ways that are coincidental, but not that too coincidental for you to ignore. And although there's no physical causality, we attribute metaphysical causal chain, right? That's like as if you're thinking about, let's say, an estranged person that you haven't thought about in years, and this person calls you, right? That's gonna leave a huge impact on your life, and you'll try to attribute like meaning to it. And that's and Carl Jung also talked about another concept, circumambulation, which is the idea that we don't think linearly. We kind of repeat the same thought patterns, emotions, struggles, challenges. Those are thought patterns that are repeated in your psyche, right? And if you know something about physiology, brain physiology, that's how memories are stored. It's essentially neural patterns, firing patterns, right? That you keep repeating. And when you think of a thought, it's a thought that you've already thought about. So it's being reinforced when you think about it. And he's stipulating that this circumambulation is suggesting that growth stems through you repeating your thoughts, right? It's as if there's a lesson for you to grasp. And that's where growth stems from. So if you think about synchronicity and circumambulation, I think this lays out like a reasonable like two reasonable concepts from which passion and like purpose stems from. When you find a pattern in the world that you find meaningful, and that this pattern reflects your internal state, this is going to be meaningful to you, and you're going to try to resolve this pattern throughout your entire life. And that's how I felt when I was 16. I remember thinking, like, I didn't think I was smart, but I remember thinking when I discovered philosophy and theology, I remember thinking it's so complex and convoluted that I could spend lifetimes trying to understand it, and I would find that meaningful. And I think it's if you have something like that, you're set for your life in some ways. Yeah. It's all about trying to understand the perspective. Like if you're passionate about a topic, let's say an artistic one, uh, like a painting, it's about the process, but also the process is there's so it's like a fractal process, right? Like each decision you make throughout your creative process leads to different patterns, right? And it's like a self-discovery journey through which you discover your internal processes, right? So yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's just some a thought I had this week. Um, all right. Circumambulation and synchronicity. Thank you. All right. Bye. All right. So when I'm gonna post this video, it's gonna be September 27th, Friday, on a Friday, I believe. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't really been putting as much time as I wanted to practicing the piano lately, and I'm gonna take the blame on it mostly. I'm sure I could find more time, but I'm really grateful for this video series because it's pushing me to stay consistent with the challenge I put myself on, right? So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you to me, I guess, because I started it. um, yeah. What else? What else? The past week. Oh, I enjoy like playing a song, and I think there's value in like playing a song even if you're getting good at it, if it makes sense. Like because like most of the time when I'm playing, I like as soon as I get it the first time, I'm like thinking, oh, I mastered the song, right? But it takes more time than that. You need to I feel like I need to play a song till I get it like 5 times straight, correctly, and then instead of like one time, if it makes sense, right? So yeah, I'll send this video and then I'll make a new one next week. The next one is gonna be a bit late. All right, thank you. So, oh, that's so weird. I think I just burned my hair.